long-term marriages. Surprising that we're so happy and chuffed. We dissect those problems that face everyday people. In other words, sit back, relax. Here's 20 minutes of gibberish. And my co-host of gibberish in the 5 Topics of Life is the great man, Sparty. Talk back, Sparty. How are you, mate?
I'm great, Richie. Great. I'm very happy with last week's effort. Got a lot of good feedback. It's been a great week personally. We've got a new baby in the family, which just reinvigorates you and makes you realise you hold that little fella in your arms and you just want to go out there and recreate.
So how is your wife getting on with your girlfriend that's had the baby?
But yeah, well...
Oh, sorry, it's not Barnaby. Sorry.
No. Yeah. No, I know as much about grass seeds as you do about kale.
What was that?
That's right.
That didn't even make sense.
Yes, it does. I know nothing about grass seeds. You know nothing about kale.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Rightio. Don't forget feedback, ladies and gentlemen. If you listen, I'm still lost. If you're lost, don't feel like you're Robinson Crusoe. I'm out there with you.
Yeah.
Last week, on Talkback, of course. You can go back to our Twitter page at 5 Topics of Life. Mine's at Richie Please, PLZ, RICHIE PLZ, and of course the great man is at Sparty Talkback, SPARTY Talkback. And I know there's plenty of communique between a lot of our fans throughout the week. And also you can subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, we can. We're currently sitting at a massive 7.
Hello to those 7.
Yeah.
My 2 daughters, your 3.
Yes, 3, and Jeffrey, my long-serving neighbour, he decided
Norman
to get
across
on,
the road
and Norman
for me.
across the road. So there's the 7. But feel free to have a listen. We decided that YouTube was the best way to do it because apparently Google, I saw the word Google thinking that meant good, and clearly it didn't. So it just busted. We don't even know how many we did or didn't get.
Now, one of our great loyal listeners the other day was straight on it the other day. Prominent Sydney radio show, bang.
Yeah. Well,
another topic of ours, taking cheap alcohol to a party.
That's right, yeah. So a couple of years ago we dealt with this, and since it's been dealt with, I think 4 times on radio, just in Sydney alone. And what it's about is that if you've been invited to a dinner party and you take over, I don't know, a bottle of good red wine, what would that be, Rich? Give me a good sort of...
Oh, just say any Penfolds.
Say a Penfold.
Hello to Neil Grant and all the people there.
Yeah, Neil. Good. So a lovely Penfolds wine, and you take it over to your friend's house for dinner, and you walk in the door and you give them the wine, and then you're sitting down to have your pork belly and perhaps a little morsel of oysters as your entree, which is, you're flying.
I've got to say also there's some wonderful Shiraz Cabernet from the Bordelais wine
as
range.
well. Okay.
The Bordelais
the great
wine.
Peter Ambrosoli, or as some people call him Paul. But
well, I was going to say hello to the New South Wales manager, Warwick Brook.
Okay. All right, so we've got all that out of the way. Anyway, so you've gone over, you've taken this lovely bottle of wine and you've sat down to eat dinner, and then they've served, and you've taken your first little sip. And you, more than anyone, are a connoisseur of the red wine.
And you go, hang on here.
This is Aldi. this isn't whatever those other names you just dropped.
This isn't the basket press Shiraz.
Exactly. And you take a sip and you're thinking, well, what's going on here? Anyway, and you have a great night, and then you follow up the wine and you think, I'll have a beer. And and you brought over some
beautiful.
Well, we like those lashes.
The lashes, beautiful lashes.
You brought that over.
Man, all the people at Tui's.
Hello to them, and you're sitting down and you're looking forward to having your lashes.
And they produce Tui's Red
as well, and you get a Tui's Red. And not only is it Tui's Red, they've tried to do the smother by putting it in a glass so you don't know. And then the night finishes, and your aforementioned whatever that trendy name of red wine was you mentioned earlier,
the basket press Shiraz magnificent,
hasn't fronted. And best we can tell, it's already been put in the wine cellar for maybe someone who's more important, or when they want to drink it on their own.
I got a mate of mine, BMP, best mate Pete, as you know him. He's done that with the wine.
Has he done that?
Yeah, I go back over there and goes, I've got a nice bottle of red for you. I said, mate, I bought that last time.
so look, I don't think, as far as feedback goes, if you're doing that type of stuff...
Come on, we've got to move on. Yeah, this is what I want to do. So the other day, ladies and gentlemen, the great Sparty come and pick me up. We took his daughter... Was it gymnastics or dance?
It's acro. It's at a dance studio, and it's basically an acrobat's based.
Okay, dancing. Anyway,
yeah.
We proposed the idea: why can't adults enrol in these kids' activities? Like my kids might go to a choir. I'd love to go and sing in the choir with them, or to gymnastics,
or whatever it may be. And you're right. We got thinking. We thought, in this modern inclusive world that we live in, what is stopping you or me going and rolling with a bunch of 15-year-old girls in an acro
Some people might see it
class.
as weird. I think a lot more parents would hang around thinking, hello, what's happening?
Well, I think it's better that you're actually participating in the class than just hanging around outside.
And look, well, we went to the pub when we dropped her off.
Yes.
And because we thought we were going to be part of this acro, so we'd wore tights.
Yes.
I mean, we got plenty of looks at the pub.
Most people, when you wear tights, they have that shirt that just covers the buttocks.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, I know you
I had
didn't,
the tank top.
and that's why people were looking.
I had the tank top on.
Yeah.
And if you saw the video the other day about I'm a builder, you can understand what I was saying. So
yeah.
we were standing out.
Yeah, it was. So what we'd like a bit of feedback on is if, whether it be soccer, acro, or singing, squash, hockey, whatever the case may be, why can't, in this modern day society, inclusive, why can't adults participate in those events? I see it as totally normal. Rich, where do you stand on it?
Yeah, look, I think there's something you can get part of,
Yeah. It grows your relationship with your children.
Yeah, like my daughter's in that poetry reading.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to have gone and done a bit of poetry reading.
Yeah.
Do you do poetry reading?
I do.
Yeah.
I don't need to be in a class for that. I'm just on my own. Generally go down, a little soapbox out the front.
Now, listen, I've got to tell you, I went out last night.
Yeah.
And I was in the eastern suburbs, which is, I won't say the establishment I was at, but I thought there must have been a creche there.
Right.
Because I went to the bathroom, there seemed to be a lot of powder.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I was looking for the babies and the prams.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that I'm totally against anything to do with drugs and you make your bed, you lay in it. I haven't had a cigarette since May the 8th, 2001. I've never had a bong, a joint, nothing like that. I'm mad enough without it.
Yeah.
But it brings me back to the days of blue light discos.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love, for those people in our vintage, I grew up with, my late brother Matt, my brothers and I used to just run off Matt. Matt just...
Did you?
Oh, they just lined up.
He was a good-looking rooster, wasn't he? But he also could talk. I think you had No, it's just
no, he's not a talker, Matt. No, he wasn't a talker, mate. He had a bent nose.
Why did they like him?
They loved him. They all thought he was He just had him lined up left, right, and centre.
But what was it?
Nothing will beat the day that he was sitting on the lounge with his current girlfriend back, with his. He'd gone out. It had a blue with mum the night before, and he'd gone out with his girlfriend.
Right.
And another girl rocked up the following night, knocked on the door when he was out.
Jeez. And
he'd had a big blue with mum, which you never did when you were trying to juggle. And this lovely young girl came to the door, and she said, "Oh, is Matthew home?" And my mum said, "No, he's out with his girlfriend."
Oh, dear. Helen.
Oh,
that's so unlike Helen.
Very much unlike Helen.
Yeah.
My mum said, "That'll serve him right."
Yeah.
Very next night, the same girl that mum had confronted, and she was sitting at home watching TV with Matt. He's the best.
Yeah.
He was the best.
Right, so anyway.
But he was lucky then, as he said, he was never perfect. He was simply able to choose perfect because then he struck a girl called Anne who was there for 25 years.
Lovely lady. Yeah.
Yeah, because she carries a gun.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the blue light disco. Yeah. So for people who aren't familiar, it was
just good fun.
I think they were once a month, and obviously by the blue light, the local police.
I used to go to the ones at Hurstville or Sutherland in the St George
at Campbelltown. It was held at the local roller skate rink, so you didn't have to wear roller skates. And they just converted it to that, and they were great. They were run by the local coppers, so it was always well looked after. Best I can remember, it was innocent fun. There was no and the other thing you talk about today with whether it be a party or whether it be a disco or whatever, is everything's just so grand. The kids have got to spend $500 on the outfit or whatever. You rocked up. I just used to rock, and I'm always been at the front of fashion. The limestone, is that what they limestone? The denim? What were those ones? They were sort of really light blue with the white streaks running through those jeans.
Oh, we weren't flash enough for them.
These aren't flash, mate. These were handed down 3 times. I was the third. I got it.
So I was number 3.
Yeah, and you'd try for a band T-shirt. You'd always try for like the Angels.
We used to have bands on. I remember the Cockroaches, of course, who turned into the Wiggles.
Yes. Radiators. Played, and all those type of bands from that era. I think the Angels were probably. In our era, we're probably already a little bit too successful to have got a run. Angels. Yeah. Am I ever? You remember that song?
I played that when I got suspended from being the ground announcer at St George Dragons.
Did you? Really? How did you bring that? How did you bring that into the game?
10 minutes into the game, St George were playing Canberra, and John Lomax.
Oh, yeah, big Canberra.
Got 10 minutes, and I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, number 10, John Lomax has been given 10 minutes in the bin." We played Hit the Road Jack.
Yeah.
Which? About 50 minutes into the second half, number 8, Quinton Ponga, his front row partner in crime, I said, has been ejected.
Yeah.
And we played See You Later Alligator.
Yeah.
And then with about 4 minutes to go, the captain of Canberra, now a radio star, good bloke too, Laurie Daly, got 10 in the bin.
Yeah.
And I said, ladies and gentlemen, the captain of Canberra, Laurie Daly, has been given 10 minutes in the bin. There's only 4 to go, and I hit the song, "Are we ever going to see your face again?" And I hit stop, and then the crowd sang words I'd never.
Yeah, no.
Then I played it again 3 times before Eric Cox, who used to work for the rugby league, and he's since parted ways, since left and passed away. When I fronted with Brian Johnston, who's now the CEO of St. George, the chairman of St. George, I said, "Look, I'm not a music person. I was totally unaware that they were the next words of the song." I got 10 in the. I got 2 weeks suspension.
2 weeks. Have you? What they play as you?
Warren Lockwood, who was the chairman, he didn't like my sense of humour on the microphone.
Right.
But Warren had one big problem.
Yeah.
His wife loved me.
Yeah.
And although Warren was chairman, his wife made the decisions.
I'll just take you back. Have you ever met an Eric who isn't a stickler for the rules? I reckon if you're called Eric, you're just you're a rule follower.
What's the bloke, the Aussie actor?
Eric
Isn't there
Banner.
Eric Banner?
Yeah. Probably not a good example.
Yeah.
He was all right.
I don't know many Erics. Eric Growth.
Eric Growth.
Eric Growth Jr.
Yeah.
Eric Growth Jr. Jr.
Is there a junior?
Yeah, Junior.
Junior. All right.
And then there's a Eric Growth half Jr. Eric.
Yeah, what were we talking about? Blue light discos.
Anyway, let us know if you're interested. I love the blue light discos. Now, this is one thing I know you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Talk about this. The emergency row on a plane.
Yes.
You're saying that this... Well, I'll tell you a quick story. The great late John Panette, who I think is one of the greatest comedians.
Oh, we love him.
Now, John Panette, if you watch Seinfeld, he was the large gentleman at the end who had his car stolen and the Seinfeld characters all stood there.
That's right. He was the reason they got locked up.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And John Panette said he was sitting on row in the emergency row 13. I tell him when I guest speak at that, and he said that the lady came and asked him that, look, the pilots, we're not going to take off until you move, sir. And he said, what do you mean? She said, we just don't think in your condition, at your weight capabilities, and you look a little bit weak in your arms, that if there's a crash, that you'll be able to help the other passengers.
Yeah, well, that's...
And he said, well, what are you saying? She said, well, you got to move. He said, so if there's a crash, what happens? And the hostess looked. She said, they go out that door. Yeah. He said, which door? She said, that little door there. He said, that little door. He said, if there's a crash, darling, he said, I'll make that door bip, bip, bip 3 times the size of this. He said, everyone will be coming out my door.
Well, that's exactly my point, because I was on a return flight and I was one seat behind the special people who'd been awarded that particular thing, and lo and behold, up comes the hostess to do the one on
the emergency, which no one listens to.
No, but this is their own little special one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
And what I'm thinking is that, like, I'm looking at the half dozen or 10 people or whatever it was that are there, and I got to be honest with you, there was only one there I want there in an emergency, and the rest of them I'm thinking, geez, if we're in trouble, I don't want Gladys there, and no disrespect to Gladys. She's probably very good at what
George
she does.
Costanza would be the best, because he would lead.
But he'd just get himself.
Yeah, well, of course, every man, woman, child, even live for themselves.
Well, what about
go?
Well, he'd be perfect, because they say, when the oxygen drops down, make sure you give it to yourself before anybody else.
Yeah, so would he.
Absolutely. So what I'm thinking is that how about when you get on the plane, we've got, you got 12 minutes or whatever it is before it goes off. I think you should be able to lodge a formal protest. If I'm walking past and I'm seeing someone I'm not, I want to put a protest in and say, look, I'm not confident. I don't want him there. Can he be subbed out?
They do. I've seen him subbed.
I've never seen it happen.
Well, let me just say one thing, and I shouldn't have, but a jockey in Melbourne, his wife is a hostess, and she's a beautiful lady, and I was in the most awkward seat in the world,
right,
in between people that made me look anorexic,
right,
and she said, I'll move you, and you wouldn't believe it, she went and got a person that was in one of the emergency rows who was a very short person and just said, look, we're not comfortable, and they moved that person over and put me in the emergency row.
So you were in there?
Yeah. She put me into the emergency row.
When they did the special spiel, did you listen?
I always listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you reckon if it was drama, you'd be the leader? Because you got to have a leader in that.
Well, you pull it out and down, and the door will go out.
Correct. No, leader. You need someone leader of men or women.
Yeah.
You'd just be there going, follow me.
Well, they'd follow the dust where I was.
Do a swan dive into that.
I'd be off and gone.
Exactly.
But I agree.
I think we again welcome your feedback, but I want people in there that I'm feeling confident with.
One last topic for you.
Yes, mate. Yeah.
I was sitting at a set of lights the other day, and there's a lady next to me. I thought she was doing jiu-jitsu or judo.
Yeah.
But she was just on the phone, by herself, hands-free.
Right.
Why do people talk with their hands when they're in the car by themselves?
Exactly. So the whole reason you've got to go on hands-free is so presumably you can concentrate on the wheel. And I've seen this as well. And you got people, and you can hear them through, like even when the window's up, they're blowing up, their arms flailing around. So is that next? That if you're doing the right thing on hands-free whilst driving, yet a massive hand flailer, can you get double demerited? Because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Wheel. That's exactly right. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
As I said, I've had a cigarette for a long time. I'd have a hamburger, a drink, a cigarette, and on the phone and drive.
I can actually imagine you doing that. I can, and
I used to change lanes every 100 metres.
Yeah, and your blinker's still got the little plastic on it from when you first got
My wife thinks that's one of the funniest jokes. She goes, you could advertise your car for sale. 135 kilometres, this and that, blinkers, brand new.
Unused, Which that day, remember that day we're coming back from wherever it was.
And we watched cricket. We watched New South Wales play WA at Hurstville Oval.
And we're driving along, and I was terrified because you were driving.
The police could have pulled me over for 30 kilometres.
Any other, and then we turn onto Parramatta Road, and you say to him, Sparty, this copper, he's going to pull me over.
Because I hadn't had a shave. I had a big beard. I had the beanie on because the beanie's for brain cancer.
Yeah. You said, this bloke's going to pull me over. I said, nah, there's no way. Anyway, lo and behold, he did, didn't he? He pulled you over.
And what was he? He pulled me over and he said to me, I didn't allow my blinker to flash enough before changing lanes. And I said, that's the best you got.
Yeah.
But because we pulled up at your house.
That's right.
And he said, how come you're pulling up here? I said, well, I just dropped the bloke off. I was with me into his house. I said, I could have pulled up down the road, but I thought I'd come right to where he lives.
Yeah, and I was rock solid because as soon as you pulled up...
You were in the house.
I was in the house. I don't like authority, and I was a bit scared that something was going to go down. I keep forgetting what we were talking about. What was that? Oh, hand flailers.
Hand flailers.
Yeah, so at some point, I'm tipping that you're going to have to be hands-free, hands-on.
Yes.
Hands-free, hands-on. Otherwise, you're in double
I've currently got a case going through the... before I'm waiting to hear back from the police force. Because, you know, my hearings, I struggle with
very ordinary,
We'd been pulled over by the booze bus. My wife was driving. She was good as gold.
Yeah.
The eldest daughter was in the front seat.
Yeah.
She wasn't feeling well, so I sat in the back. And because I got me sore neck and that, I just put the belt around my knee, but it's still plugged in. Otherwise, you hear beep.
So like the old lap belt.
But you still hear beep. That was over my shoulder, but just around.
Right.
And I just thought the lady said, where's your belt? And I said, it's around my knee. I didn't realise. I got a ticket for not having my belt on, but I did have my belt on. So I've objected to the fine.
Did you take a photo of your belt on?
Well, otherwise, if my belt wasn't on, you hear this.
Oh, right. And did this come subsequent, or they issued you when you were pulled over?
No. It comes subsequent.
So you didn't even know?
No, she was talking to me, and I can't hear.
Oh,
I
right.
said that.
Yeah, right.
She said to me, was your belt not on, apparently? Brooke, my younger, said to me, I think she needed a ticket. I said, no, she's not. No, I got one in the mail. I wasn't happy.
Anyway. That'll be
377.
That'll be part of what's that? Sydney Confidential. You know which flight?
I'll be going. I objected. I said it's just a simple communication because she spoke to me from the front driver's window. Well, and I'm in the back left.
Yeah, you can't hear that.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't hear it. The best of time. Last one quickly. Seinfeld. This has happened the other day. You can't believe I've had a TV blow up at home. I've had a pool pump blow up at home. Our fridge blew up at home. And thanks to Al Stevens at Harvey Norman Commercial. Thank you, Al. I got my fridge and paid for it. But my washing machine went the other day. We got another one. What Seinfeld character, if you had a broken washing machine, would you ask to come around and fix it?
Easy.
Or install it?
Easy. Kenny Banya.
Kenny?
Now, I knew you'd react like this, right? Kenny is a very convivial chap. He's good to have around. If you keep him on task, he'll do anything for you because he likes to help people, right? He would get through the whole sort of situation like, I don't know, let's say I did yesterday with Kay when her and I changed your washing machine.
Yes.
And you were there blowing up about getting water on
and
the
that's
tiles.
not code work for it actually did change the washing machine.
It did actually happen. Little bit.
It's not grass cutting like
no, not at all, no. You know, all
and
you
we're not kinky. I wasn't here watching. It was
No, it wasn't. It was slightly odd. You just, anyway. So I'm going with Banya. The only problem is at the end you'd have to take him out for lunch somewhere.
Of course.
Yeah.
Not just a...
Mendy's.
Yeah, Mendy's. I'd have Keith Hernandez.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just think whether he could do it or not, he'd find someone to do it. Remember?
Yeah.
Jerry was going to help him move. Then Jerry didn't feel they were comfortable in that relationship.
Yeah.
So then he got,
That's
Newman
right.
and he'd find someone to help him do it.
That whole incident, and then he ended up going out with Elaine and
he thought he was going to round second base,
and she told him
and go home. Yeah. And Elaine said, "Keep an eye on third base, coach, because he ain't waving you in."
That's exactly.
Have you
right.
enjoyed another? Episode?
I've had a great time. We'd love any feedback from Twitter. It's always good fun, and I'll see you next week.
Rightio, episode 2. Don't forget, at 5 Topics of Life, at Sparty Talkback, at Richie Please. Until next time, and I don't sign off like that gibber on TV. Just be kind to everybody.